The new flyer is here. This one covers Q4 of 2022, October, November, and December. There are some great new products from K-Tool I'm going to show you. We're going to go over some tried and true products and their new pricing, and also look at a couple of duds that I think are worth avoiding, and I'll show you instead some really compelling alternatives that are going to save you a few bucks and still keep you in quality tools. First up is a new product from K-Tool. These are their wireless earbuds. I do not know who actually manufactures these for K-Tool, but I can tell you they are quality items. And when we get something like this in inventory, I always buy it for myself first. I want to try them out and make sure that they're good enough quality to sell. And these have been very impressive to me. I use them every day. I use them as for a hands-free phone option. You can also listen to music occasionally on them. They have very good audio response. I think the music sounds clear. And the thing I like about these in general is they're good for me just to leave in, like especially while I'm driving, because the road noise in a truck can be kind of loud sometimes. And they reduce the decibels of the surrounding noise quite nicely, because the rubber earpieces on them are extremely comfortable. I do not know that I'm wearing them. I used to have one of those the Bluetooth boom mics, and they have that plastic kind of trapezoidal shaped earpiece that you have to actually insert into your ear, and it's very uncomfortable. The inside of your ear gets kind of raw, and you're constantly messing with it, and they're not fun to have. I'm constantly pulling the thing out, but I like them for a hands-free option when I'm driving. These have completely solved that problem because they're so comfortable that I don't know that I have them in. I have to check sometimes to see, and they work really well. The entire surface of the earbud has capacitive touch, and depending on how many times you tap it, you can evoke different functions from your phone. Just learning how it works is a short learning curve. It comes with a very easy to understand instruction book. I wholeheartedly recommend these, and I don't know how they compare to other earbuds because I've never used other earbuds, but I've been very happy with the quality of these. So I use them every day. You can use one or the other. You can use both as a pair, and they're great for music, great for hands-free talking on your phone, and the fact that you can invoke your phone functions through these and use voice commands on your phone is a huge plus for me. Wholeheartedly endorse them and recommend them, and their price of $84.15 is a nice sale price that's less than their $100 list price. K-Tool also has some wrenches and now some new ratchets, and I have not seen these ratcheting combination wrenches before, nor have I seen their ratchets, so this is new for me. I am very interested to see these because, like everything else that I've seen from K-Tool, quality seems very good. I don't know who manufactures these. It's hard to tell by looking because wrenches and ratchets are fairly generic looking. So I wouldn't want to hazard a guess on this, but if they're if they're anything like the Gearwrench ones, and I suspect they are because these have 120 tooth mechanisms. The difference is, though, unlike the Gearwrench 120 XP mechanisms, which have a 60 tooth gear, these are advertising 120 teeth. So I have no idea how these actually are constructed. I'm eager to get some in. We'll take them apart. We'll see what the mechanism looks like. We'll do a review on them and kind of dig in a bit to see what the quality of these items are. And I'm a big fan of something like this. I would put these in the hands of some of my customers and say, try them out for me, see what you think, give me a lowdown, and compare them to other ones that you like and use. And be honest, because if there's something that's worth putting in inventory, we'll do that. If they're not worth putting in inventory, I'll avoid them. So right now, I can't tell you good, bad, or otherwise. I can just tell you that they exist and that they're a new product line. And I'm very eager to see what they're actually like. So there'll be more to come on those. If you need a plastic creeper, this is what I was talking about in the intro a little bit. There are some worth avoiding and some worth jumping on. These from K-Tool are worth jumping on. Not literally. Don't jump on your creeper. It's gonna wheel out from under you. You're gonna go ass over tea kettle, and then your coworkers will laugh at you. And I can't say that they'd be wrong for doing that. Just make sure if you do, you get it on video, post it to the internet so we can all get a yuck out of it. Anyway, don't listen. roll around gently on your back on these. Don't run them over with a truck or a vehicle, please. And the $81.63 price tag on the 36-inch plastic creeper is a very nice cost reduction. So we've actually seen the price go down about $20 on this, which is great. The last ones I sold were about $104, I think. And the thing I like about these, as opposed to the Jeepers Creeper version from Lyle, which is also the same plastic creeper that you've seen on the Matco, Mack, and Cornwell trucks. They're all made by Lyle. They're all the same Jeepers Creeper brand. The only difference is Matco has a proprietary wheel that they put on theirs. It looks like a translucent skateboard wheel. The other one's just the black plastic hard casters. And the plastic deck has a lifetime warranty on the Lyle ones. The casters and the headrest don't. On this K-Tool one, the entire thing is covered under a 1-year warranty, but is a significant price difference. Right now, the 8163, it's not quite half as much as the Lyle one. So I endorse and recommend the K-Tool ones. A, for the price. B, they have a higher weight capacity rating than the Lyle ones do. These are rated for 300 pounds, and the Lyle ones are rated for 250. Now, below that is the 42-inch creeper. Has tool trays on either side, so you can stash sockets and wrenches and things in there without losing them. It's 176/13, but it has a much higher weight capacity rating of 440 pounds. And the casters are a little bit larger. They're 3-inch on these. The other ones are 2-inch. Hard to go wrong with either of these. And I like the fact that K-Tool is getting more and more into branding their own stuff, because they're putting out some real quality items. I've been very happy with the stuff that I've seen from K-Tool thus far. And so have my customers. And the reason I'm happy is my customers are happy. So the more stuff that they buy, the more it kind of endorses how good the quality is on these, and the pricing's rather good compared to other stuff on the tool trucks. So when you need a creeper, check out those plastic creepers. If you need something more advanced, I guess would be the word, if it has an adjustable headrest or maybe the external steel frame, K-Tool has those too. And we can always compare the costs and the features and functionality between those and other brands. But for the plastic creepers, look at the K-Tool ones for sure. Here's a new product from Knipex. This is their 4-inch pliers wrench. If you've seen the larger pliers wrenches, and you have if you've seen my other videos, because I'm always bragging about these things in tool haul videos, they're just a terrific, terrific design. And they came out with now their smallest version, which is a 4-inch long version. They also have a 4-inch long pair of Cobra Pliers, which are very popular. So these probably are going to go on the truck probably the next couple of weeks. And if you are not familiar with the pliers wrenches, the advantage to these are they have parallel smooth jaws. So no matter how far you open that handle, the jaws open and close parallel to each other, unlike a conventional pliers where there's a pivot point and they get wider on the end and they are narrower toward the pivot point. These are not like that. So they're non-marring because they're smooth jaw, and because they open parallel, you can use them like you would use an adjustable wrench. The advantage to these are because you grip them like a pair of pliers, you don't have the slop in the mechanism that you would find in an adjustable wrench. And they have the nice little adjustable mechanism to slide the handles to the size you want them. And you get a tremendous amount of leverage over this handle with these handles because they have a cam toward the pivot there. You can see it in the picture. And that cam adds some extra leverage. So for a small pair of pliers, you can hold on surprisingly tight. Yeah, they're expensive. These are $75, but all Knipex products are expensive. It's one of those few brands that I feel so strongly about that the extra money is worth it. Usually I'm all for trying to save some money where you can, but when it comes to Knipex stuff, and all they make are pliers, their pliers are terrific. I wholeheartedly endorse those too. Any of their products have been fantastic. Let me get your opinion on these. These are E-Spec electronic torque wrenches from Gearwrench. I don't have any experience with these, and I'm wondering if you do. If you have used these or you know what they are for, please leave a comment on the video, because I'm really trying to learn more about these. My understanding is they are made for industrial applications, but I don't really know what you would get with these that you wouldn't get with a normal torque wrench. These are very expensive. I think for the $1,200 to $1,500 or $1,600 price range, you better be getting some pretty fabulous. And I don't know what these offer. So if anyone has used these or seen them or know what they're for, please let me know. I'm dying to get some more information on these things. And I looked up, what I could on Gearwrench's website, and they don't have a whole lot describing the kinds of applications for these. Their other digital torque wrenches sell really well. And in fact, just last night I sold a 1/4 inch digital torque wrench. They're 3/8 sell all the time. Their pricing is really very good when you compare to other top quality brands like Snap-on and Mako. Their digital torque wrenches run about half the price, and they have angle, and they beep, they light up, and they vibrate when you hit your target torque. So I don't really know about the E-Spec ones, and I'm dying to get your opinion on them. K-Tool has gotten more into audio stuff. This is not a new product for them. You've seen me do a product spotlight on these a while back. You can click up here to check that video out. This is their portable XD power wireless speaker. It has a 60-watt amplifier, and it connects by Bluetooth, or you can you can make a hard connection using a 3mm audio cable that it also comes with. You can also hook a number of these together and get a fuller, larger sound or cover a larger area. I really like selling these. They're very good bass response, nice and clear even at the higher volumes. There's no distortion. When people ask me to demonstrate this on the truck, I'll play something as loud as I possibly can just so they have an understanding of how big an area it can fill. And it's always pretty impressive how clear this is at higher volumes, so that if you're using it in a shop, especially if you have a larger bay or you have some ambient noise and you want to cut through that with the music that you're listening to, you can. They don't cover a huge area, but most of the guys that I've seen with these will put them in their hutches. And actually, the hutch helps to direct the sound out toward them, and they sound very good. I'm a big fan of these. Their pricing got kind of dumb on these, I want to say a year ago, so I stopped carrying them, waiting for the price to come down, and it has. I will sell it for less than this $202 price tag in the flyer, though. I sell it for around $185, and they seem to sell very well at that price. This is one of these things where at some point I got to draw the line and say, no, I'm not going to sell for that price. I'm only going to keep it $185. When they were more expensive, I couldn't put them on the truck because the price that you see in the flyer is directly related to my cost, and there's my cost is a certain percentage of what the flyer sale price is. So, when these were, I forget how much these were when they were, I thought they were too expensive. I want to say they were up around $250. And when they were that high, my cost was way too high, so I can't really afford to sell them for $180 or $185. But now I can, so I'm going to continue to do that. And these are good regular sellers. If you need hammers or hydraulic cable crimpers or pry bars, Titan is a very good brand to look at because their stuff is rather inexpensive and their quality is really very good. You have to be careful, though. I wouldn't recommend the Titan products for every application, depending on what it is. But they have very good dead blow hammers. The 6-piece general purpose hammer set is very good. It's a much better fit and finish than I thought I'd see on this hammer set. But I was impressed the first time I laid eyes on these. And I've sold a number of these, and I have never had a problem with them, never had a comeback. If you need a 5-ton hydraulic cable crimper, theirs is excellent. And I sold a few of these to guys who were crimping the large, I guess they're steel, battery cable terminals. And they bite right down on these, and they do a very good job. They have a number of different dies that'll cover, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't have the stats in front of me. I think they cover 12 gauge through double aught, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong about that, but I think that's what it is. Or they go down to like gauge 2 or something like that. So very large gauge applications for these, and you get a lot of force with that hydraulic mechanism. And they have strikeable pry bars, 28 inches, $35.92, and the 36 inches, $40.40. They put a lifetime warranty on them. So when they break, we'll get you new ones, or we'll get them fixed up for you. So you might be asking, well, what am I giving up if you're saying the quality is so good? Well, what we're giving up is after sale support. I have found that Titan is not as easy to work with in that they never have denied a warranty claim, but they're slow. And sometimes it takes a while to work it through their system. We have had occasions where we've had to sort of, shepherd the process and, make follow-up calls and send emails and make sure that the process is getting taken care of the way it should, because like we sent them a broken ratchet a while back and they lost the order and then something else. And so we had to kind of keep on them. They fulfilled the order, but it took a while. And when you look at pricing, it's not always indicative of the quality of the tools. Sometimes, in this case, it's indicative of the quality of your after-sale support, because that takes people and that costs money. And if they're saving money on the products, they may not have the money then to hire enough people or the right people or whatever it is to properly process warranty claims or support the customers after the sale. So you don't have to worry about doing that. If you're buying from us, we take care of the warranty stuff, but that's a process we then have to manage. Which, increases everyone's administrative overhead in this. But I think that what you get, quality for the money, is very good. I would consider Titan for a number of tools, these included. And I think later on we'll talk about welding helmets too. They do a very good job with their welding helmets, their hammers. Their ratchets are pretty good too. I've never really had problems with any of the hardline stuff or the welding helmets. We can also look at some other offerings from Titan, like their Wobble socket adapter sets for $8.50. You get 6 of them. They have a good impact socket adapter set. You get 8 pieces for $89.95. I don't know how good these particular ratchets are, the 5-piece 90-tooth ratchet set, because I haven't seen those in real life, but I really kind of like the anodized blue handles on them. I think it looks beautiful. It's a great looking ratchet. The head looks a little clunky to me, which isn't a surprise. If they're saving money on the quality of the steel, they're probably going to have to bulk up the head so that it can withstand the same stresses you might put on, say, more expensive alloys that other brands are using. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend them because I don't have the familiarity with these as I do other brands, but I was pretty impressed with what they're putting out. And their breaker bars are rather good. They have a 40-inch long 3/4 drive and a 1-inch drive. And the head on this is also rather large. So you're not going to get it in tight spaces, but your odds of breaking a 3/4 1-inch drive breaker bar fairly slim. They can withstand 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. So they might be really good options for you if you're looking at getting into some hardline tools and saving yourself a few bucks. Boots have been an ongoing issue. We had Redback. Redback dried up and blew away. I don't know what happened to them. And then my distributor started carrying Terra, and I started getting some Terra boots in. I liked them, but then as soon as they came in, they were unavailable again. And I don't know what happened there. And now all of a sudden, Blundstone has now come in to the market, and they're the ones that are available to me now. So even though in this flyer, you're going to see promotions for Blundstone and Terra, let's stay away from the Terra ones because I know the Blundstone ones right now are more available. I do like the way these are constructed. I have sold a few pairs already and been getting very good feedback on them. They have a good insole in them, and the uppers seem to be constructed very well. I like how they are welded to the rubber soles on these, and the soles look very substantial, and they look to me at least as good as the Terra and the Redback ones. So I have no doubt that people are going to get a lot of longevity out of these, and these come in soft toe and steel toe options as well. Just note the sizing charts on these because they do have UK sizing because these are Australian-made boots. So the thing I like about this chart in the magazine here is that it lists the US size, and if you notice, the US size is one size larger than the UK size. So a men's size 10 in US would be a UK size 9. So that's why the part numbers might look funny compared to the size. It is correct. So just know that if you're interested in any of these, just make sure you're getting the size in US sizing. And their pricing isn't bad. I think these are going for around $225 for a good pair of boots. You're going to spend a few $100, and to keep your tootsies happy, a couple $100 is worth it. Especially if the pair of boots lasts you for a few years and you get some good long wear out of them. Don't be afraid to replace the insoles on these regularly because those will lose their cushioning effects, and they'll also kind of get divots worn in them. So a good pair of third-party insoles might be just the thing for these. The ones that come out of the box are actually pretty good. The one thing I didn't ever like about Redbacks is they had a junk insole. It was very thin. It was, they say it was made out of foam, but it was the thinnest, most useless kind of foam I think I've ever seen. So I would recommend to people to pitch the insole and get a third-party thing from Dr. Scholl's or something. That's what I did when I first got mine. But these are much more comfortable. But again, don't be afraid to replace the insole, every 6 months or so. Cycle them out, especially if you're on your feet on them all day long, because you're going to notice a big difference in the support and the comfort if you keep the insoles fresh. For the holidays, if you need a gift idea, these PocketMate USB lights from Streamlight sell like crazy. They're very small lights. You have seen these in some tool haul videos from a while back, and they're small lights. They're really solid built. All aluminum housing. That button is really substantial. When you push that button in, it's a solid click. They have a carabiner clip on them, so you can put them on your keychain. And then around the backside, which you can't see in this picture, is a little clip you can slide it on the brim of your baseball hat. When you push the button, it comes on low, and you will say to yourself, hey, it's a good light. And then hit the button again, it goes to high. And you will probably say, whoa, that's brighter than I thought it would be. These are strangely bright for their size, and at $32.12 is a great bargain. 4 colors to choose from: silver, blue, red, and pink. And we buy these by the armload come holiday time, because as fast as we get them, they're going to be gone again, because people snap them up for their family and friends and give them as gifts. They're terrific gifts for people. I gave one to my dad, who his eyesight's not what it used to be. So if we go out somewhere like a restaurant or something like that, and it's dark and he's got to read a menu, he busts out his light, and it takes care of the problem in low light situations for him. They're great if you're looking for your keys in the dark, you're walking out to your car at night in the driveway or a parking lot. Terrific light to have. Very, very handy. Built really solid, and I have yet to have any one of them fail on me. I think they're quality items. I love most every Streamlight product, and these are big winners in my book. Love them a lot. Speaking of lights, if you need a good work light, there's been a small price reduction in the Power Probe Tech Modular work light. It's gone down $9, or $7 rather. And this is the modular light that you've seen me do a video on. Click on it up here if you want to watch it. It's a module that has 4, it's a base module. It has 4 light modules in it. Each light module is 250 lumens, so you get 1,000 lumens out of the entire module if you turn all the lights on at the same time. Each of them pops out individually. You can use them in or out of the base unit, and each module has its own hook and own magnet on it, so it gives you different mounting options. You can light up something from, like if you're under a car, you can hit different corners, or there's nice and small modules that you can put up into a wheel well or next to a framing member or something, and they're very versatile. This is probably the most versatile lighting solution I've ever seen, and kudos to PowerPro, because this is a quality unit. I have known 2 people who have dropped these from about 3 or 4 feet onto a concrete shop floor, and while I will not promise you that yours would survive the same thing, theirs did. The only issue anyone's ever had with these is 2 guys lost the modules, and I had to order individual modules for them. So just make sure that you always put them back in the base unit the way they should, and if you lend them out, make sure you get it back, because the modules are about $70 a piece. They're kind of pricey. So just be aware that that's an issue. But you plug the base unit in, and then the modules charge when you insert them in the base unit. Nice. It's a nice setup. It's a good regular seller for us. Let's talk a little bit about the Milwaukee 1/2-inch high torque M18 cordless impact. Their part number on this is 2767-20. In the flyer here, you'll see the 2767-22, which indicates it's a 2 battery kit, or the bare tool down below there, which is the -20, just for the tool by itself. Now, there is an issue with these. I'm going to leave you a link in the description for the Torque Test channel, who breaks these things down and goes over thoroughly what the problem is with the new version of this Impact. Milwaukee decided, I don't know why, to change the internal design on this gun. Beats me why. There was not a problem that they addressed with this, as far as I know. There was no consumer-facing issue with these whatsoever. But Milwaukee decided to make a change to the internals. I suspect they did it. Usually they make decisions like this to save money, maybe gain some efficiencies, but they gave up everything in this because there's a fatal flaw in the pins that hold the planetary gears in place, and sometimes these things are breaking right out of the box where the pins shear off. Take it out, blap, broken. Or sometimes people get a month or two use out of it and notice it, and then it breaks on them, but they break. The way to know is if you look at the serial number, they begin with 4 digits, H96, and then A, which is the older good version, or H96B, which is the new substandard version. I will not carry these on the truck until I know this issue has been resolved, because I do not want to sell these with an apology or to warn people that, by the way, it's probably going to break on you and then we'll get it taken care of when it does. Because I don't know what their fix is either. Are they fixing it with the same nasty, weak parts that they put in there originally, or are they putting good stuff back in there and so that we don't have the problem again? I don't know. This is a fairly new issue. I just learned about it myself, and a lot of folks left a comment on a Mako flyer video I did when I was comparing their half-inch Impact to this Milwaukee one. That's how I found out about this problem. So a bunch of you left comments. Thank you for doing that, because I wouldn't have known otherwise. And then a bunch of guys recommended watching the Torque Test channel video on this, which I did. And I have a tremendous amount of respect for Torque Test channel, because they break things down literally and figuratively in a way that's very easy to understand. They illustrate exactly what it is they're discussing and talking about, and they do very fair apples to apples comparisons between tools and tool brands. So I'm a big fan of what they do and how they do it. So mad respect to you guys at Torque Test channel. Thank you for going through the effort that you do, because it really is eye-opening when you do it with something like this. So I'm going to leave a link to that video. Also, check out their channel if you haven't. Give them a sub too, because they've got great stuff that they test all the time, and it gives you really good ideas for different brands and different models of things from different brands. They test hand tools and power tools and all kinds of stuff. So excellent channel. Thanks again, guys, for putting out the content on this. You have taught me a tremendous amount, and thank you too for everyone who has left comments on the previous video and on this one, because as this develops, I'm going to give you some updates. I'm also going to do an entire video on this gun in particular. Wait. In context with Milwaukee's larger offerings and the new arrangement they have with Matco tools, because Matco is now a Milwaukee distributor. Matco touts it as a partnership, but in a partnership, really both parties are putting something into a relationship. It seems to me, from what I understand, that Matco is really just becoming a distributor for Milwaukee, which means they're a customer, not a partner, but people are going to market that however they think it's going to work best for them. I think it's a very interesting decision that they've made, and we're going to delve into that in a future video. So be on the lookout for that one, because I'm dying to dig in. And I've been learning a bunch of stuff on this one too, because that's a fairly new and recent development. So I've been digging in a little bit to try to learn what I can on that, and I'm uncovering some interesting facts about that I think you will find interesting too. So I'll plug that at the end of this video, and then also be on the lookout for it in the next few weeks. If you need to rest your fanny in the shop, and please do, because standing up and working your knees all the time and up and down, lifting things and whatever is really hard on your body. And the younger you are, the less you feel that. But trust me when I tell you, you're going to feel it later on in life. And the best creeper seat I have found is this one here on the left, the 86994 for $198.25. It has removable plastic magnetized storage trays underneath. And it's a nice, wide, comfortable tractor-style seat that adjusts from 18 inches to 22 inches and will support 300 pounds, so it can probably hold you just fine. And the casters are fairly large. They can roll fairly easily on a shop floor. I really like see it a lot. There's also a similar version from Sunex, and I think they're all made by the same brand. I think Whiteside also has a similar one to this. This is the best price that I found on it. So the Gearwrench is the one that gets the win. In addition, is your shop stool right next to it for $123.50. That's also about $60 less than similar shop stools I have seen. And I have been using one of these now for a few years that I sit on regularly every day on the truck. I put that behind my workspace there. I have this L-shaped desk where I keep my POS system, and that's where I do most of my work from. So I'm on it all the time. And it's comfortable. It has never let me down. It's been nice and reliable. So I am a big fan of that stool because of that price. If that were back to the regular price, I probably wouldn't be bragging about it so much. But at $123.50, it's probably the best price I've seen on these. And that price has been holding steady for the last 3 or 4 months. So we'll get at least another 3 months out of that price. Here is what I was telling you to avoid. These are the plastic Lyle creepers. They're Jeepers Creeper brand. Compare these to the K-Tool ones I was talking about before. For $146, you're spending way too much money on a plastic creeper. Now, granted, you get a lifetime warranty on the plastic deck. That's not something to sneeze at, but you got to pay $146 for it. If you're good to your creeper, you're not going to have too many problems. And maybe you're a bit of a husky fella, and you're going to be maybe exceeding the capacity on these creepers. And then what happens? It's going to start to sag. But the K-Tool ones have a higher weight capacity rating. So I really think that you're getting a better bargain. The only thing you have to answer for yourself is it worth the extra money to get the lifetime warranty or not? And, you know, once you do that math and you see what your budget is, and you may very well opt to get that K-Tool one. I would recommend it because of that. We don't see many warranties in these anyway. You know, every now and then, and usually, I'll be honest, it's when someone runs it over with a truck and they say, oh, my creeper broke because I ran it over. Well, that's not covered under warranty. They're only going to cover it for manufacturer defect, but your odds of having problems with the K-Tool ones are a lot lower. I think that this Lyle one is one to sidestep for now until and unless that price comes down to where it's more reasonable. In the meantime, the K-Tool ones are a terrific value. You want to be the coolest guy in the shop? You will if you get a Mini Ductor 2 magnetic induction heater kit. These things are more awesome than I can possibly describe. And I did a video on these, so click up there to check that out. I was actually in the shop with a customer who bought one from me, a fellow named Ken Hertz, who was just the nicest guy you'd ever want to know, smart fella. And he bought one of these from me and couldn't wait to get to work with it. The idea is you have these inductive leads here, and they work only on ferrous metal. What you do is you can form these to different shapes. They have some that come pre-formed already. And then you put this around, say, something like a bolt or a nut that's frozen on with rust or with age. You get the conductors close to the metal object, press and hold the trigger, and within just a few seconds, that the metal object will light up to cherry red. I kid you not. It's the most impressive thing you'd ever want to see. And then once you get that kind of heat going, it's an easier time of loosening it, hopefully. And these things work dynamite. Why are these so important to have in a shop? Well, for 2 reasons. One of them is you're not using an open flame, which means you don't have the explosion hazard with these. So if you're working where you have hazardous or flammable or combustible chemicals, you don't have to worry about that with this. The other advantage to this is they work around corners where you can't direct a flame if you were using a torch. So you can bend that lead to go around some obstruction, get it around the object you're working on, and it works just as well. So you have a number of advantages to this. Yeah, they're pricey, but there's a cool factor to these, and they last a good long time. They're very reliable. I've never seen an issue with one. I hope you don't need a jack, because I haven't seen one yet that I think is reasonably priced. I guess, 2 years ago now, the pricing on these skyrocketed. It used to be I could get you a K-Tool branded jack for just under $300. These are 3.5 ton capacity, low profile. They go down to 3.5 inches in their low height, and they go up to 21.4 inches, fully extended. They have a 2-year warranty, which is terrific. There's not many jacks that have better than a 1-year warranty, so they double it up on this. And they're great quality. They've never had an issue or a failure with these. The problem is the price. The price went way up to $514.98. Oh, it hurts. It hurts because it's a great jack, and every time someone asks me about jacks, I got to say, well, all right, I'll show you what I got. But most of the time, and I don't blame anybody, they'll wind up getting like a Daytona brand jack from, was it Harbor Freight's brand? I forget what brand Harbor Freight has. Or, there's quality jacks out there. Are they as good? People tell me no, who have compared both jacks. A buddy of mine, Cass Nichols, who you've seen on this channel a lot, and he has his own channel, Speedwrench. Check him out. I'll leave a link in the description too for him. He doesn't like those jacks as much as, say, the K-Tool ones or the Monster ones. When I was selling Monster jacks, he bought a Monster one from me years ago, and it's been very reliable for him. And the Monster ones and the K-Tool ones are both made by the same company. So they're very good quality. The hydraulics are excellent in these. I sold 2 of these K-Tool jacks to a shop owner a couple of months ago, and he was desperate for a good jack. He had to have one in a hurry because the ones he had were old and they were tired. And I said, well, here's the price. And I felt bad, as giving him these as my most affordable options. I sell Sunex. I sell American Forge and Foundry. I sell other brands of jacks too. Believe it or not, this is the best price. Even Omega jacks have like an $800 version of this jack. Golly, I mean, that's just... A good jack is really important. I know, but man, these prices are just killing me. So anyway, with the shop owner, I said, well, here's the price. He goes, get me 2 of them. I'm like, okay, hold your nose and hold your nose and cut the check. Luckily, he's, I got him on a payment plan like everybody else, and it makes it more palatable for him. So, 2 jacks, he's, paying me $100 a week. Still kind of pricey, but he lives by these jacks because of how his shop is set up and how he uses them. So to him, it was important. He's been very happy with the purchase. There's nothing wrong at all with the quality of these. It's just a price. And it's I think, part of the issue that we've been having with supply line problems in the last 2 or 3 years. And I don't know about materials, if materials are scarce on this or whatever, but the price is outrageous. So I feel bad about the price, but I love the product. Speaking of which, take a look at these Sunex ones. $579.98, you get the 3.5-ton jack, which does not go quite as low as the K-Tool one, but you get a pair of 6-ton jack stands with this, so you get some more for your money. But still, that's just a lot of money. Again, excellent quality. I love Sunex's hydraulics. I think they have excellent products. I have never had a Sunex product I didn't like, but love their tool carts, for example. I love their work tables. Love a lot of stuff about them. Again, it's just the price that bothers me on these. Oh, and here's that Omega jack I was telling you about. $824.20. And it's even a lower capacity. This is 3-ton. The others were 3.5-ton. Omega is made in the USA. Now, for all the folks who say that they will happily pay more for a US-made product, please weigh in on this. Is it worth it to you? If you're buying these on a tool truck like mine or whoever's, is it worth it to you to pay $824 for a jack made in the US, or would you rather pay the $500 for the one that's been manufactured in China under the K-Tool brand? Weigh in on that one. I would love to know your opinion. Everyone has a budget limitation. The sky is not the limit on how much people can afford to spend on tools. So here's a great example of a significant price difference based on the country of origin. So what do you think? Put in the comments. Talk among yourselves. Share it. This is how we learn. All right, let's get back to some torque wrenches. These are the regular digital torque wrenches I was telling you about when we were looking at those E-Spec torque wrenches earlier. These are the Gearwrench ones that have angle. They have a flex head, 120 XP mechanism, and their 3/8 one goes 10 to 100 foot-pounds. Their half-inch drive one is 25 to 250 foot-pounds. And they're about half the price of the Snap-on ones. And as far as I can tell, they're just as good. Never a problem with these. Very reliable, accurate. After a year of regular use, you're going to want to get these recalibrated. I can take care of that for you, no problem. We've had very good luck with the Gearwrench torque wrenches. This is the one I was referring to earlier when I said I sold a 1/4-inch drive last night. So they're great products, priced very well. If you think it's expensive, you're right. Tool truck prices are not cheap, but when you compare these to what some of the other tool trucks are carrying, their branded torque wrenches for, I think you'll find a very good value here with the Gearwrench ones. Now, if you want a 3/4 drive click type or split beam type, you can look at the ones from Precision Instruments. These are made in the USA, outstanding quality. They used to manufacture for Snap-on until Snap-on bought CDI Torque and now has them manufacture their torque wrenches for them. The 3/4 drive ranges from 200 to 600 foot-pounds, as well as the 1-inch drive. The nice thing with this particular torque wrench is it breaks down into 3 different pieces and stows in a below molded case. So instead of having to deal with a very long torque wrench and no place to store it, this breaks down so that you can store it very easily. $751.28 for the 3/4, and the 1-inch is slightly cheaper at $709.20. Not that bad when you compare to $800 to $1,000 price tags that you see on other brands. And you cannot buy a better quality torque wrench than one from Precision Instruments. I promise you that. They are outstanding. They have been tops in their field for many, many years. For the long-handled box end wrenches that Gearwrench sells, this is their Gearbox brand wrenches. These are very popular with diesel techs. The nice long handles are slim design, easy to get into tight spots, and they have the 120 XP mechanism, which means they have a 3-degree arc swing, so you can use them in tighter spaces more effectively than a lower tooth count gear where you have a larger arc swing. $355.87 for the Flex Head 10-piece set, which I think is rather good for the Flex Head version of this set. I have seen them in the past over $400, but the prices seem to be well maintained on these. And then the non-Flex version is just $268.32, and for a quality wrench set like that, I think that price is fair. And usually when they're priced like this, they sell really well. I wholeheartedly recommend these for anyone that has a long-handled, tight reach application. Diesel guys, you know exactly what I mean. You're the ones who tend to buy this more than the automotive guys do. And then we can look at their regular combination ratcheting box end wrenches from Gearwrench. They have the flex head versions here on top and the non-flex versions on the bottom of the page. These are their 90-tooth mechanisms, and the 90-tooth ones have been selling very well. They have now that same mechanism in their ratchets, and they have them now in their combination wrenches, and they seem pretty solid. I will say that I don't see the 90-tooth ones break as much as the 84-tooth or the 120s. I don't know what they're doing different, but I don't know if that's just a strange coincidence or not, but I see less breakage on these. And their pricing's rather good. You can get a 16-piece metric set that goes for $272.23, or the 14-piece standard set for $233. You can get smaller set options, but for the price difference, get all the wrenches you can in the set. It'll last you forever. Lifetime warranties on them, and you're going to need wrenches, and everyone needs a good set of wrenches. These should find a spot in just about every technician's toolbox. Once you're well established in your career and you need to invest in good hand tools, this should be one of your first buys, probably after your first year or so. Once you're set up and you know that you're going to stick with it and you're going to start investing in your tools, look at investing in a set like this. When the handle on the wrench that you just bought is not long enough to give you the leverage you need, look at the Vim 15-inch wrench extender. This guy sells like crazy because it is so handy. It has a nice comfort grip, and what you do is you slide the wrench in the open claw end, and it latches positively onto your wrench. You are not going to slip, and you will not hurt yourself. There are guys in the old school mindset that will take a wrench and put onto their bolt or nut and then take another wrench and stick it in the end of the wrench that they got. And that's just dangerous. Please don't do that. It's wonky when you're connecting two wrenches like that and trying to put extra leverage on it. it could slip. You can really get hurt by poking yourself in the eye. I know a guy who almost lost his eye because he did something similar. Strangely, he didn't. I mean, his eye was messed up, but he retained his vision and he healed. But I promise he didn't do that again. It's something that, for $62.87, that's a price reduction. Normally that's $75. So it's even less right now. Even more sense to buy one because they have a lifetime warranty. We'll replace them if it breaks, though I've never seen a broken one. And for the extra safety measure that it introduces into your life, please spend the $62. Get yourself a nice wrench extender. You'll thank me later. If you don't like that one and you want to spend $10 more, you're welcome to get the one from Mueller Cubes. They have a number of different sizes of this, but this is the most popular size because it's also the most affordable. The next largest size is like $200. You have seen this same one in the Matco catalog, this same size here, that for $72.62, Matco is selling for $150, over twice the amount. And it's the same Mueller wrench extender, just branded for Matco. So when you're shopping, do some comparisons. Don't just jump on the first thing that you see and look around. And if you don't buy it, if you see the price on Matco, look on another tool truck or look at my tool truck or look online somewhere. Wherever you want to buy it. But make sure that you're getting your money's worth out of it and that you're not overspending, because when you're spending twice as much on one tool truck as another tool truck, what are you really getting for your money? If you're getting the same good level of service, the same convenience, go with a lower price, but do yourself the favor and shop it around. When you're looking at snap ring pliers, you've got a few choices. Lang makes an outstanding set, and so does K-Tool. And the reason I like K-Tool over Lang is not quality. They're both made in the U.S., but K-Tool just beats them in price a little bit. So for about $30 less, you're getting a made in U.S. snap ring plier set. This one has 12 pieces in it. There's 3 different tip sizes per group of 3 that have the straight, the 45-degree angle, and the 90-degree angle tips on these. And the tips range in size from 38 thousandths of an inch all the way up to 900ths of an inch. And they're reversible, they're changeable, so you can unscrew the pivot and then slide the one jaw over so that they go from an internal to an external snap ring plier. Very handy. I use these all the time when I'm doing ratchet repairs or air tool repairs because I use snap rings in their mechanisms constantly. Big fan of them. The tips don't seem to break at all. And they upgraded the handles on these. They used to have the dipped handle on these. These are the nice molded plastic handles, so they're even a little more comfortable in your hand. So you're saving a few bucks, you're getting a nicer handle, and you're still getting something that's made in the U.S. If you need a set of ratchets and you need some extra leverage in those ratchets, look to the long handle ratchet set from Gearwrench for $104.67. You're getting an 18-inch long 3/8 drive ratchet and a 9-inch long quarter drive ratchet. Both have the 120 XP mechanism, so you fit them in tighter spots, and you can move your workpiece with a smaller swing arc. And they are just rock solid little units here. That extra length will give you a lot more leverage. Just be careful about breakage. If you do break it, though, cover it under a lifetime warranty. I can repair the guts on these. I can repair the guts on these right on the truck for you and send you on your way. And it's a great price for 2 quality ratchets. $104. You can't beat it. Now I know there's always going to be people that like or prefer different brands because of how they feel. I get it. Snap-on has excellent ratchets. Some people will pay more for that because they just like the way they feel. That's fine. But I also know people that prefer the Gearwrench over the Snap-on. It really is strictly preferential. Try them out, though. Put them in your hand. See how they feel. Work with them a little bit and see if you like them. And then make a decision based on that. For the money, it's tough to beat the quality and the value of the Gearwrench ones. I should talk more about vessel screwdrivers, and I kind of feel bad that I haven't. Guys have asked me this regularly if I sell vessel, and I do, and I'm showing you some of their offerings in the flyer this time. They have really nice Japanese industrial standard screwdrivers. They have these Megador Impactor screwdrivers, and these are the impacting screwdrivers with a striker cap on the back. So if you have a screw that's frozen, you can put the screwdriver on it and then hit it with a hammer, and that will impact the mechanism there and work your screw loose. Very well built. I'm a big fan of Vessel, very high quality, so you're going to pay a little bit more. Even for the regular non-impact versions of their screwdrivers, you will pay more money for them, but they are built to a much higher standard. They have tighter tolerances. They grip screw heads better, I think, because of that, and they're covered with lifetime warranties. So they have a hex bolster on them for attaching a wrench and turning it that way if you need some extra torque. I think they put a lot of thought into these. The handles are nice, they're comfortable, and you get good torque just driving them by hand. And they have magnetized tips on them, and they come in a bunch of different colors there. You see the teal, the silver, and the red. And I think that they're a very good quality item. I should be touting these more. Them and Vim. And you've mentioned to me in the past how I should probably mention Vim stuff more. And you're right, I should, and I will in this video a little bit later on. For some regular heavy-duty screwdrivers, look at these from Mayhew. These are their 10-piece cat's paw capped end screwdriver set. These are intended to be used as chisels and pry bars because they have a striker cap on them, so you can smack them with a hammer. And you can use them in ways that you wouldn't use a normal screwdriver without fear of breaking them. These also have a hex bolster on them. In fact, I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's an entire hex shank on these. So it doesn't matter where you put the wrench, you can fit it on the shaft or or just under the handle and get your extra torque that way if you have a particularly stubborn fastener. Covered with lifetime warranty. And this is the set that has number 1, number 2, and number 3 Phillips drivers in 3, 4, 6 inch lengths, and it has slotted 7/32, 1/4, 5/16, 3/8, and 1/4 inch size drive heads on the slotted. Outstanding screwdriver set, well worth the $138 for the price. Sonix has a master bit set that I am in love with, and they've also dropped the price on their very popular 38-piece mini ratchet and bit set. I'm glad to see they came down on the price on that one. It was getting a little pricey at $60, came down at $50, which is good. It used to be down to like 46, I think it was at one point. Still, $50, no problem. You get up into the 60s, people are going to shy away from it. So I'm glad to see them back off the price on this one. Their 208-piece master set is the most versatile bit set I've seen. You'd be hard-pressed to not find a bit that you need in here. The only thing it doesn't have are long 6-inch bits, but if you need the regular 1-inch to 2-inch long bits, this has you covered in all your Phillips, slotted, hex, Torx, tamper-proof Torx. There's even some specialty security bits in there. Has nut setters in them and an extension. It comes in a really nice blow-molded case, so it's easy to carry around with you. If you were to get that bit set and the Milwaukee 1/4-inch M12 driver, man, you'll feel like there's nothing you can't accomplish. It's a terrific setup. So for just a few $100, you can team this up with a great 1/4-inch M12 driver from Milwaukee and go nuts. You'll accomplish so much in the course of your day. You'll achieve a whole new level of efficiency, and you know that you're backed by the lifetime warranty on the Sonix bits, and your Milwaukee tools have 5-year warranties on them. Now, that 38-piece mini ratchet set has been very popular because it has a subset of the bits that you'll find in that master set, but also has a cool little driver that has a hex receiver in it that you insert the bits, and there's a magnet in the base of that receiver so it holds the bits securely, and there's an extension that comes in that case too, and that's a nice anodized aluminum case. It's a good-looking case with a Lexan window on the top and a latch to securely hold it all together. Terrific bit set with a little driver in it. Guys will get that, throw it in their car, keep it for emergencies, or just keep it in their tool cart for a quick little go-to. Terrific set. Let's talk about some Vim stuff that I mentioned earlier. I'm a big fan of Vim, and I, like Vessel, I should be touting these guys more because they're really good. And I think people should know that I sell this stuff regularly because they ask about it, and I'm like, yeah, I got Vim, but what if you don't ask and you don't know and I don't tell you? But I'm telling you now. So they have a nice selection of Vim bit sets here. There's their half-cut stubby bit sets. There's their master sets. They have a master torque set. They have a hex and torque set. And they have their half-cut, which are stubby torque sets. All the stuff is listed on the page here. Different pricing, obviously, depending on what set it is. The 77-piece comes with a driver in it, and they packaged a nice kit together. And I'm a big fan of Vim's quality. And their pricing is really not bad at all. And everything comes in a nice blow-molded case, but they've got, the 77-piece set, the 50-piece set, their master torque set's a 77-piece set, 64-piece hex and Torx bit set, and then a 10-piece half-cut stubby Torx driver set that ranges T10 through T50. Look at these, if you would, when you're looking at pry bars. And we can compare the K-Tool 5-piece pry bar set to the Mayhew Dominator 5-piece pry bar set. And you might be thinking to yourself, hey man, those look exactly alike. Well, you're not wrong, because they are exactly alike, except that the K-Tool set has as its smallest pry bar an 8-inch long pry bar. The Mayhew one has a 10-inch long pry bar as its smallest pry bar in this set, but the rest are 12, 17, 25, and 31 inches. The reason they look exactly the same is because Mayhew makes that pry bar set for K-Tool, and they just put K-Tool's brand on it. They have different handle inserts in them because Mayhew a few years ago purchased a plastics manufacturing company. So now Mayhew can manufacture everything itself. They maintain very good quality control, and their metals and their alloys are outstanding, and then they can make whatever handle they want. They can put in different inserts. They make the same one for Matgo and some other brands too, and you'll see these suspiciously similar looking pry bar sets because they are the same. They just have different color handles on them and different inserts. So Mayhew can handle the entire manufacturing process themselves. They used to manufacture for Mac tools, and then Mac decided to get their pry bars made somewhere else, but Mayhew still makes the plastic handle for them. So now Mac used to be able to say that they have a made in USA pry bar set. Now they have to say that the handle's made in the USA. But K-Tool can say it's made in the USA. Mayhew says it's made in the USA because it's all made in the US in the Mayhew facility. So good on you, Mayhew. I love you as a brand. Love your company. I like your products a lot. And, everyone relies on your brand and your tools every day in your shop. And it's great for me to walk into a shop and see these guys putting these products to the test and beating them up, and they still come out smiling because they had such a great value. I'm going to show you a tool here to avoid. And the reason is because it looks interesting, but in practicality, this Texas Twister from LTI Tools is not all it's cracked up to be. The idea here is that it converts your air hammer into a pneumatic slide hammer by, you can see how the pieces here are curved. So if you imagine let's say you need to pull something in one particular direction, and you need the power of an air hammer, but you can't because the air hammer is going to push it that way. Well, these things have these curved pieces so that you would, if your piece is here and you have to pull it that way, you'd connect your air hammer, and then you can make your attachments on it that will loop back around so that while you're pushing that way, you're also pulling your workpiece, if that makes any sense. The issue with this is you lose a lot of force through the different attachments here. They flex. It robs power by the time that force reaches the workpiece. They are not very effective at what they do, unfortunately. If you own one of these and you have had a better experience, please say what that is. I only know a couple of guys who've owned them, and both were disappointed. So I would love to know if you have a better positive experience, or maybe you've experienced the same level of disappointment as the other guys that I know who have owned these. So weigh in and give me your opinion on those. Spark plug socket sets from Gearwrench have also gone down in price. These dropped about $30. This is the 5-piece magnetic swivel set. And it's a good comprehensive set. They are lifetime warranty, so anything goes wrong, I just give you a new one, and at the new price of $105.38, that's pretty compelling. If you're a fan of the Milwaukee Packout system, there's some stuff on sale in the back of the flyer. If you're not yet a fan of the Packout system, check it out. These are a terrific mobile storage modular system that Milwaukee has. I don't know how many different types of modules they have in the system, but they got a lot of them, and they're very reliable, built really well. And the great thing about this is all their units, all their modules lock together. And you can see on the top here, there's these recesses. On the bottoms of these units are these clips that slide into those recesses and lock it in. And you can stack a bunch of these up. You can buy wall mounts for them so you can mount them to a shop wall, or I've seen contractors use these in their work trailers, and it's an extensive system. Not only does it have storage modules like this, both open bins like the one on the bottom on the two-wheeler, but also drawer modules. They have bit modules that store an assortment of bits and tools and sockets and all that. They also have a lighting module. They have a charger module. They have a Bluetooth speaker module. They have got cooler modules so you can put ice and drinks in there. They have all kinds of stuff. And it's a terrific system that people seem to be falling in love with. And I'm a big fan of it as a result. Yeah, they're pricey, and you can get them elsewhere. But boy, they seem to be worth it. They will save you a ton of time in organization, and they make your work life much, much easier because you can keep everything right there already assembled in a stack that you can wheel around with you and then quickly unlock them and pull the modules off to carry them if you needed to. So big fan of this, especially if you work like on a job site. If you're not in the automotive field and say you're in construction or plumbing or whatever, you will also find great value in these. So that's all I had for the stuff in this flyer. To reiterate, I'm going to be doing a deep dive into this Milwaukee situation with their half-inch impacts, as well as their new arrangement with Matco, and we're going to see what that. We're going to speculate about what that means. We're going to speculate as to why they made these moves that they made. So we're going to kind of lump those two different topics into one video just to make sure there's enough there to get a substantial video out of it. And we're going to be doing some really cool stuff with some vintage Snap-on tools. So if you're into that kind of thing, you're absolutely going to want to keep watching this channel, because we've got those and other things coming on the line that I really do think you're going to get some value out of. So do me a favor. Click down here now to subscribe so that you don't miss any of it. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, use a tool. Don't be one.